Man, it is cold out there. All right, I am up American Fork Canyon, just a little bit south of Salt Lake City, and we are on the back side of Mount Timpanogos. We're gonna do some long exposure time lapse. We're gonna get the mountain with the stars moving behind it. All right, I am shooting at 35 millimeters, zoomed in a little bit. I've taken a couple practice shots. It's hard to get focus in the dark, so I just kind of guessed it, and now I've got it focused. I've got the setup how I like. So I ran a timer, and it's about 25 seconds that this takes to do that exposure, to take that shot. So I'm going to set the time lapse up to take a picture probably every 30 seconds so that it will have time to take the picture, write to the card, and then get ready for the next picture. All right, I'm in Magic Lantern, and now I'm going to set up the intervalometer. I'm going to turn it on, and we got to go in there, and we're going to take a picture every 30 seconds. Once I exit out of Magic Lantern, it will start up. So here we go. So I'm going to switch to manual mode here and set that up. All right, I've got manual set up, 25 seconds. Aperture is 1.8, ISO 160, and we're going to take a picture every 30 seconds. Let's see how this bad boy turns out.
Hold up, wait a second.
I didn't think of this until this morning, but I think I'd try it with different settings next time. I had the aperture at 1.8, which allows a lot of light in, which I thought I would want last night, but it also makes it hard to focus. With a higher aperture, more things are in focus. I also had the ISO really low because I didn't want to introduce a lot of noise, but I think I could have cranked it up a little bit and been just fine. I'm going to shoot this again later this week with different settings and see if the images come back a little more crisp. Back in the car where it's warm, we're going to wait a while, see if we can get some good pictures going. So I want to make a 10-second time lapse. Taking a picture every 30 seconds means I need to stay here for 2 hours. I was not prepared for that. I've taken about 125 pictures. That should make a 5-second time lapse. It's time to go home. I'm back home, and it's time to convert these files into a time lapse. The first thing I do is I drag the images onto my desktop from the camera. Next, I open Adobe Bridge, and in Bridge, I select the files, I select the images, and I open in Camera Raw. Shortcut is Command R. In here, I can adjust the settings of the picture. Next, I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to synchronize the settings. What this does is it applies all those changes to every picture. I have to scroll through for some reason in order for the changes to take effect. Next, I'm going to save all of the pictures as JPEGs. Now that that's done, I can close that program. Then I open one called Sequence. I use this to deflicker the pictures. I enable deflicker and let that thing rock. Then I export all of the images. Once they're exported, I import them into Final Cut Pro 10. I add the pictures to my timeline, and I set their duration to 1 frame each. Then I create a compound clip. I want to remove that black space, so I up the scale. And there's my time lapse.